for the fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna use this. We've been in this-
Notice Friday when.
Just bang the gavel.
Where's Janice today?
We're not starting yet, we're just gonna swear some people in, so.
We'll start by swearing in our newly elected or re-elected governing body members.
Mayor Brown.
Mayor-elect Coates, if you would join us first.
I want to get a picture too.
This better be front page.
Well, can I only get both of you?
Use your right hand, repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Jessica Coates,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and faithfully discharge the duties of mayor.
and faithfully discharge the duties of mayor.
Welcome aboard, Madam Mayor. Councilman Bishop and Councilman Bernard.
Yes. Steve and you.
But not
Oh, it's been Tyler too, yeah. You
Do a little stand.
I almost said total too.
Oh, we're doing. Photo op.
I don't need a photo op. Try to break the camera. Hey, get you. Closer. Thank you.
We'll go to Steve.
This isn't your prison picture. We got 1, 2. I'm gonna say one more. Awesome, thank you.
Gentlemen, if you are standing, raise your right hand, repeat after me. I do solemnly swear to state your name.
I, Steve Bishop, do solemnly swear.
I, Tyler Renard, do solemnly swear.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States,
That I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
And the Constitution of the State of Kansas.
faithfully discharge the duties of council member.
And faithfully discharge the duties of council member. You did?
We're now for a phone call. You went out and have a phone call. You appreciate you went out and have a phone call.
Who did?
Went out for a phone call.
I'm fine. I'll see those all here. Okay.
Your fire chief's on fire right now.
Yeah. I see Brad here, I saw Keegan here, so.
We're gonna dump a few out real quick, though.
Or is it already recording this? Sorry.
I think she is.
Wait till she gets back.
Okay.
I'll just get stuff from Katie.
Good evening. I'll go ahead and call the City of Ellsworth regular council meeting to order. We stand and join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Everybody hear me okay? Okay. So we've got a full agenda, so we're gonna try to keep things moving. Let's start by roll call, just of city council, I'm guessing. Is that what that says?
We don't have, I mean, if you wanna call them, oh, yeah.
We don't have to, okay. All right, well, has everybody had time to look at the agenda? I would entertain a motion to approve it as presented.
Madam President, I will second that motion to approve it.
You gotta make the motion.
Gotta make a motion.
I made-
Make a motion.
You can't make motions somewhere.
Oh.
I lost. I will entertain a motion if you would like to make it.
Okay.
I move to accept the agenda as printed.
I move to accept the agenda as printed. Thank you very much.
I'll second. All right, it's been moved by Councilmember Moon and seconded by Councilmember Hanson to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passed. All right, moving on to the consent agenda. Is there anything further we need to know about the turf sprayer repair?
No, it was a normal thing, but since over $5,000, we at least showed it was happening. And I mean, new one costs a lot more, it's a 15-year-old sprayer. That way it keeps running, but I thought it could fit into consent because it was just a piece of upgrades of equipment. Again, for council member, consent agenda is items that are somewhat standard, routine, and even. I wouldn't say benign, but they're still smaller items like repair, we gotta repair or we can't operate. And there's not a whole lot of choices in doing so that's why that's kind of thrown in there.
Madam Mayor, I vote to approve the consent agenda. I make a motion to approve. Do I need to list it all?
Okay.
I'll second that.
All right, it's been moved by Councilmember Hanson, second by Councilmember Bernard to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Okay, it's really hard to not vote. Okay, we're gonna move on to public comment. You have. All right, we've got two people on public comment. So first we've got Brian Ingalls. He is our appointed member for the Grow Ellsworth County Board. Thanks for being here, Brian.
So everybody, I was just gonna give a quick update and just tell the council, thank you for letting me represent the city of Ellsworth, grow Ellsworth County. We've been doing a lot of stuff. I'll just keep it short about the major two things we're doing. We did get a $10,000 grant from the federal government to enact a marketing plan. So we did have Marketing Angle do a bid for us, just to help with tourism around Ellsworth County. It will be focused, in Ellsworth, Wilson, Kannapolis, everywhere around there. And then we do have a new membership. It's we're doing investors. We're moving away from the traditional membership model. And more focused on just the community investor. That means, basically, when the whole community grows, individual businesses grow. So, through a lot of discussion, we thought it wasn't fair for Savati's to give the same amount as Ellsworth County Community Hospital. So instead of, setting up tiers and how much money each business can give, we just want to give every business the opportunity to participate, and be involved. So, that will be coming out, shortly. We'll be going around to different businesses trying to get support in the investment. So that was the two major things. Also, thank you, Mr. Moon, for encouraging me to just say there are a bunch of smart people, that come around on Wednesday nights in a remodeled house downtown and think about ways to make this community grow, and not just for the now, for years to come. So when we come out and we talk with you, please keep that in mind. Those small business owners, we are really trying to do what's best for not only Ellsworth, but Ellsworth County. And I think we all know with Wilson and Canopolis, if they are thriving, we're thriving as well. So that's all I have. Unless there are any questions.
Thank you, Ryan. Next up, we have a proclamation from DVAC, Jacqueline.
I accidentally put my name on the public comment, so I apologize.
Okay.
Well, thank you guys for letting me be here. I appreciate it. I've had some practice with these two proclamations, with bright lights in my face, so I'm really happy to see warm light and not blind. I will not be going blind while driving home, so I do appreciate that. I do want to present the Human Trafficking Awareness Month as well as the Stalking Awareness Month, so two proclamations if that's okay. All right, start with the long one. So whereas human trafficking is a pervasive and devastating crime that affects individuals and families and communities across the United States, and whereas most recently completed year 2024, an estimate 17,000 potential victims of human trafficking were identified nationwide, representing only a fraction of those who suffer in silence. And whereas human trafficking takes many forms, with employees accounting for 43% of traffickers, family members representing 26%, and intimate partners representing 22%, demonstrating the complex relationships and power dynamics that often trap victims in cycles of exploitation. And whereas the Domestic Violence Association of Central Kansas, also known as DVAC, provided direct services to 6 human trafficking survivors in 2024, including 5 individuals from Sling County and 1 from Sedgwick County. And whereas 5 survivors were residents of Salina and 1 was from Wichita, reflecting that human trafficking impacts both rural and urban communities within our region. And whereas DVAC remains committed to offering crisis intervention, advocacy, safety planning, housing support, and trauma-informed services to survivors of human trafficking, while also partnering with local, state, and national organizations to raise awareness and strengthen the community's response. And whereas all community members play a vital role in preventing trafficking, supporting survivors, and creating a safer environment where exploitation is not tolerated. Now therefore, DVAC hereby recognizes January 2026 as Human Trafficking Awareness Month and encourages residents, service providers, and community partners to raise awareness, support survivors, and join DVAC in taking action to end human trafficking in all its forms. Now we can move on. Okay, thank you. Whereas stalking is a serious and often hidden crime that affects an estimate of 13.5 million people in the United States each year. And whereas stalking is commonly perpetrated by someone the victim knows, with 42% of victims stalked by an acquaintance and 40% by a current or former intimate partner. And whereas stalking behaviors frequently involve both digital and physical methods, with 80% of victims being stalked using technology and 67% stalked in person. And whereas in 2024, the Domestic Violence Association of Central Kansas, also known as DVAC, served 40 stalking victims, including survivors from Cloud, Dickinson, Saline, and McPherson counties, and as well as out-of-state clients. And whereas these victims resided across the region, including Concordia, Harrington, Abilene, Salina, New Cambry, and Mount Ridge, illustrating the stalking impacts both rural and urban communities. And whereas DVAC remains dedicated to providing safety planning, advocacy, trauma-informed services, while we're working with community partners to raise awareness and prevent stalking in all its forms. Now therefore, DBEC hereby recognizes January 2026 as Stalking Awareness Month and encourages all residents to learn the signs of stalking, support survivors, and work together to create a safer community. That's all.
Do you have something you need me to sign?
Yes, that's
Right.
the official form, but I sent it.
Do you want to confirm anything?
Yeah, it's access and socials, and then you can like and share it.
We'd be happy to. Right on top. Did I sign in blue or can I sign in pink?
I mean, I'm always about something, but I don't know if my boss approved me. I have my.
Yeah, will you take?
Yeah.
Mr. Dinkle, do we, here in Ellsworth, does the police department or sheriff's department keep any statistics on any of this? Or how do we track it for our city?
That would be through, the KPI,
Maybe I'm,
yeah, and some of the like human trafficking victims, a lot of times they are traveling through, so. I know like Ellsworth wasn't in there, but I know in our, we are now looking at 2025 as a completed year, there are some human trafficking and stalking in this county. So,
thank you.
yeah, of course. Yeah, we can go first. I'll hold it together. So she would be, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, let's move on to unfinished business. Lease agreement with the Ellsworth County Fair Association. Sarah, do you want Sarah?
Mayor, council members, I guess it's been a discussion for a few years. And, always kind of comes to the end. City attorney worked with, Fair Board's attorney and put an agreement here. Basically, Patrick, correct me if I'm wrong here. Basically, there'll be a 30-year lease that's renewable options for the land, and then they're purchasing that building for $20,000.
Just, I mean, if there's any questions, I think this is a win-win. It's a lease because it's right in the middle of city-owned property, up by the rec center, so we need to control that space, but it should be I think it's gonna be a really good use of space for the 4-H, and the 4-H has been using that for years, right? But they want to build a nicer, more permanent structure, and so to do that, they needed a formal lease agreement, so that's what we've done. It took us a long time to do it, and I'm not really sure why. I think we overthought it at times, and now we've got something in front of you guys to consider. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna move.
Okay.
I'm going to move to approve the lease agreement between the city of Ellsworth and Ellsworth County Fair Association for a parcel in the northwest quarter, section 29, township 15 south, range 8, west of the 6th principal meridian, and to authorize the mayor to sign the bill of sale for a utility building to the Ellsworth County Fair Association in the amount of $20,000.
I'll second.
All right, it's been moved by Councilmember Moon and seconded by Councilmember Hanson to approve the lease agreement between the city of Ellsworth and Ellsworth County Fair Association for a parcel in the northwest quarter of section 29, township 15 south, range 8 west of the 6th principal meridian, and to authorize the mayor to sign the bill of sale for utility building to the Ellsworth County Fair Association in the amount of $20,000.
Sorry, I'll just stay up here. Yeah, just to be clear, not for council, maybe for everyone else, we're selling them the structure itself, but the land underneath the structure we're leasing to them, so that's why there's a bill of sale.
Any further discussion? Sarah, do you have anything you need to add? None? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Next, approval of the agreement and the $50,000 donation from Cross Point Church.
I think we might have approved this previously, certainly, there was at least one typo where we had the date wrong, and in addition to that, as we corrected that typo. Cross Point Church, the church's attorney asked to add an indemnification provision that basically says. If something went wrong and we won't sue the church, which we wouldn't do because we're gonna control this project, we're just they're being kind enough to fund it, so that's the reason why it's on agenda.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve the agreement between the city of Ellsworth and Cross Point Church of the $50,000 donation. And have the project to be installed by Waterworks HVAC LLC not to exceed $58,210.24. Along with the agreement with the Cross Point Church of their donation of $50,000 for the project and the city to pay the remainder of the amount of $8,210.24.
I'll second that.
Okay. It has been moved by Councilmember Hanson and seconded by Councilmember Renard to approve the agreement between the city of Ellsworth and Cross Point Church of the $50,000 donation and have the project to be installed by Waterworks HVAC LLC not to exceed $58,210.24, along with the agreement with Cross Point Church of their donation of $50,000 towards the project and city to pay the remainder of the amount of $8,210.24. Any discussion?
I just like to thank Mr. Timber for developing a relationship with those people, because couldn't they have taken $50,000 and taken it elsewhere? So I think his interaction with them says something about that communication together.
It's a great community improvement. I mean.
Absolutely. Anything else? All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Right, new business. Election of city council president.
Madam Mayor, council members, of course, every election, year after election, the city councils, themselves choose the council president that will act in the mayor's absence at any time, and for some reason, the mayor cannot fulfill their term, like Miss Miracle has called it, fulfill their term, they become mayor, if they go to the term of mayor, so, you need to pick among yourself, who you, want to serve as council president, and that'd be for a 2-year term ending on January 10th of 2028.
Well, Madam Mayor, Tyler told me when I came on board, he doesn't play tennis. And Miss Hanson was very helpful to me the first night I was here, so I want to recommend her to become the president.
Darcy too.
And the second. Okay.
Make a motion if you want to. It's right there, read it.
That's good type.
Okay. Madam Mayor, I to elect council member Darcy Hanson as city council president for the term ending January 10th, 2028.
Do I have a second?
I second it.
Okay. It has been moved by Councilmember Renard and seconded by Councilmember Moon. I was not ahead of myself, to elect Councilmember Darcy Hanson as city council president for the term ending January 10th, 2028. Any more discussion?
Congratulations.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Like, you pass. All right. We got the dream team now. So to add to our dream team, we need to fill my vacant position.
You know, there's no, mayor and council, you pick how you do it, you know, the last 2 people, you have application process. Basically pick somebody, I mean, you can put it out there, you can pick somebody, however you wanna do it, there's no right way, there's no wrong way. It's whatever you want to decide.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking I think we should give Russ another shot, means he didn't get much of a chance, but, you know, We didn't have that many people wanting to do it anyway. and
Especially
He,
that second one.
he wanted to, yeah, he's right there.
Yeah.
Right,
And he's here.
and he's here too.
Is it? Ross is awesome. I feel naked up here without it. In fact, I looked at him when he walked in and wondered why he was.
We can
oh,
even move
excuse me.
Steve right here so you can still feel comfortable.
You could, I mean, if you want, if, however you wanna do it, if that's where you wanna go, you could do it tonight. We'll do it, those elements real quick. But you can that later, and, so, it's totally up to you, if you wanna wait for the next meeting. You decide if you wanna do what we did before, there's no.
Step in again?
I actually submitted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he's already gone.
Okay, yeah, I'm good with that.
I'm good, yeah, too.
Did that give anyone else an opportunity?
No, we
Because-
put it out because it was not an open position yet.
Yeah.
I follow in certain kind of order, so yeah.
Okay, so
It's your decision, you guys can make it how you wanna make it.
you're all in agreement that, and do they need to make a motion?
A motion to-
Since I didn't appoint.
Okay,
No, you can't, you don't want.
Right, so do they appoint or
Yeah.
like make a motion?
Make a motion to appoint.
Okay.
And then the fill the term expiring. January 10th, 2028.
okay, Madam Mayor, I will make a motion to appoint Russell Allen to city council position for the remainder of the term expiring January 28th.
Yes.
January 10th of 2028.
And I will second that.
It's been moved by Council Member Renard and seconded by Council Member Moon to appoint Russell Allen to assume the position of vacant council member, that this term expires on Monday, January 10th, 2028. So, that's everything.
You
Okay.
got it.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Welcome back.
Yeah, at your discretion, if you wanna have him go to the council now, he can come up and he can be administrator of the office.
Are you free to come on up? I mean, I have to share my space, but
Do you want me to sit?
would you sit?
Don't worry about it.
You want me to?
If you want to, wherever you're comfortable.
Go there.
Oh,
Yeah. That's part of it. That's fine with me. That's part of the elevation.
Do solemnly swear
It's
that
not-
I will the Constitution of the United States and
The Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
Constitution of the State of Maine,
and faithfully discharge the duties of council member.
and faithfully discharge the duties of the council.
You'll be
what do we
fine.
do with Russ's name?
Downstairs.
Here, you just pass that down.
City, a couple dollars.
That's.
If you wanna do your magic
Okay.
on this.
Next up, we've got 25 HR 002 CDBG housing project. It's a mouthful, Keegan.
I was gonna say, can you imagine how many acronyms we have in our? So I have a few things that I brought back.
Can you tell us who you are?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make assumptions. My name's Keegan Bailey. I am the multiple title housing director, home ownership program manager, as well as assistant director at North Central Regional Planning Commission's primary focus is on housing. And why I'm here before you today is that the city was very successful in getting their housing grant. And what I'm passing to Reese here are the things that we're gonna be going over. I'm just trying to help. Mostly make sure I don't drop anything and take it out of order. This is for your KBHE.
It's old back too.
And so what we are going to be going over here is we've completed our environmental review and are currently waiting on the Kansas Department of Commerce to go ahead and complete their 15-day waiting period. And that's actually gonna end on January 15th. And so if at that time, everything was successful within that environmental review, they will be issuing what's called a release of funds. Which it does not mean that the city's gonna be dropped a bunch of money, that's not what happens, it just means that it's been clear to progress forward with the housing grant. We still have to draw funds down and have them hit the city and then move forward from that point in time. So it's not like these funds are sitting in a city account anywhere, for the public to be aware of. So within our application, we had stated that we were gonna use a housing board. And this housing board was individuals, and I just went off of prior grants of what the city had utilized before. You can choose to change this if you want, of 3 individuals who will help look over bid documents, make sure that if there's any complaints, contractors, etc., that you have a bouncing board before it comes before the council. So that's what the ordinance that was in place, before you.
Let's go ahead and that ordinance, if you don't mind, be the first motion. I have 4 motions. Let's be the first one there.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve ordinance number 3179, creating a housing rehabilitation and citizens advisory board.
I'll second. Right, it's been moved by Councilmember Renard and seconded by Council President Hanson to approve ordinance number 3179, creating a housing rehabilitation and citizens advisory board. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor, if you so approve that ordinance, we will put notices out, asking for people to send applications that then you can review the next meeting and appoint this board.
Anything else? All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passed.
Wonderful, thank you. The second item that is on there is the housing plan and demolition plan. And those items there are basically set standards that are out there within a handbook that we could change. However, I've been over this multiple times, and this is my recommendation of how I would recommend them to you from my perspective. In regard to helping ensure that the grant is ran properly and stays on time.
Madam Mayor, I actually listed as 2 separate motions, so the first one would be a motion to approve the demolition plan.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve the city of Ellsworth CDBG 25-HR-02 demolition plan.
I'll second.
Go ahead, Russ.
I'll second.
Okay. It's been moved by Councilmember Moon, seconded by Councilmember Allen to approve City of Ellsworth CDBG 25-HR-02 demolition plan. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passed.
Now you have the housing rehab plan. Or how it's called housing plan. That'd be the next motion.
So, Madam Mayor, I move to approve City of Ellsworth CDBG 25-HR-02 housing plan.
I'll second that.
It's been moved by Council President Hanson, seconded by Councilmember Renard to approve City of Ellsworth CDBG 25-HR-02 housing plan. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor, just so everybody in the public knows, these are policies that Keegan has used in their communities. It is somewhat a standard template here, but it's not been approved by the council. So not one of those unless you come up with really with the change and the process of it. So the council, yes, the council is automatically approving these, but you're approving a standard practice. So.
And if it helps put anyone at ease, that is the same plans that you've had prior before, other than just formatting to make sure that it's all lined up and looks a little bit better, presentation wise.
All right, did I give any moves yet? I feel like I did. Let's vote. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passed.
All right,
This door's unlocked, isn't it? Just in case somebody comes up, we had a problem a few months ago where the door was shut, there was some noise, no problem with it. And somebody couldn't get in and.
It's all.
Thank you.
all right, the fourth item is a contract amendment that was sent down from the Kansas Department of Commerce.
I have grievance policy also.
Oh, you went ahead and listed out each
Yes, I
one.
have.
Okay, sure, go ahead.
Now we have the grievance policy here.
Okay, Madam Mayor, I move to approve the city of Ellsworth grievance policy for CDBG or 25-HR-02.
I'll second.
Right, it's been moved by Councilmember Renard, second by Councilmember Moon to approve the City of Ellsworth grievance policy for CDBG 25-HR-02. Is there anything special you need this? It is what it sounds like. Fantastic. All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passed.
The next item she has, I actually had an agenda item written, so move to your next agenda item on the list here. I don't think we do it right. This was a big agenda and we
It was very.
racing on Friday, so.
The block grant.
The First Amendment to the.
Block grant.
Block grant, yeah.
And this contract amendment actually came down from the Department of Commerce after they had their legal team go back over some contracts. And the way that some legislative actions had occurred, it required them to clean up their contract. And every single grant that was awarded in 2025 received this exact contract.
I saw another city took care of this last week, so.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve the First Amendment to the Kansas Department of Commerce Community Development Block Grant Agreement number 25-HR-002.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Council President Hanson, second by Councilmember Allen to approve the First Amendment to the Kansas Department of Commerce Community Development Block Grant Agreement number 25-HR-002. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passed.
Alrighty, the next thing that I have just to provide you an update is after we receive the clearance, is what we call it, that final request approval. I will work with the city in regard to when we can host an application meeting. We'll want to make sure it has enough time that we can notify the community that we will be launching and accepting applications. When we set that date, I will come back down and I'll do a major presentation that goes over the do's, the don'ts, your choices, what choices you don't have, mostly that unfortunately you can't have a pink house. Unfortunately, they don't like vibrant colors.
I feel kind of called out.
Wish that they would allow that, but, so then we'll do that application launch. And then start accepting applications and then it just kind of rolls from there, so. And then one other thing that my boss asked me that I just bring to your, awareness is that the city does have a seat on our planning commission board. And I didn't see it on the agenda.
It
So
was in my comments at the end of the evening.
I'm gonna let him take care of it later.
Okay.
So that's everything. I have. All right, thanks.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
Believe now we are on discussion of grant from the Kansas Department of Transportation for Airport Taxi Lane project.
And actually, this ties to the next item as well. I didn't like, as I put in any promotions, because I think there's a lot of things that fall into place here. Because we also have a problem with the fuel system at the airport right now with the way it talks to the world. And basically, and I see Dale's here from the airport board, so. I think we gotta talk about all, there's two separate items, we got maybe talk about them and then line up, make some decisions.
What is the action item, Mr. Depot? is it a contract approval?
I have no action items yet, really. I mean, we.
Our agenda item is.
Agenda item. First of all, I think what I wanted to do is talk about the grant they applied for 2 years ago, they got it.
Yep.
And then the secondary grant to move forward with, to apply for that. And then possibly the third item would be for the communication system.
Perfect. You take the top two there and pass them down. I basically created two packets as you discussed. There's just two kind of items that go together and I thought it might be easier to kind of a little packet and kind of break them down and make them easier. So.
Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I said, while he's passing those down, my name is Brad Waller with Finish. I'm the airport engineer. I've been here about 20 years or so.
No. Let's go back here.
There should be two packets, packet one and packet two, is the way I kind of had them organized there. I was joking with Mr. Dinkle a while back, I said, he's my number 9 city administrator since I've been here as airport guy. Like that.
Oh, that's a complete packet.
Quite a
That's a
few.
complete packet.
Everybody get one?
Yep.
All right, so first things first. I was here in October, I think it was, maybe November, time talking about this, you kind of said to come back with a little more information, so that's what we're doing. The two things here, I'm just gonna go for number one. Packet number one is the request to move forward with a taxi lane design and reconstruction project. That is a grant that was secured in April of 2024 for $675,000 from KDOT Aviation. That required a maximum city match of $75,000 for a total of $750,000. That was awarded back in April of 2024. When I came in the fall, we talked about it, we really didn't say no, we didn't say yes, just want a little more information on it. So real briefly, the second page you're looking at is basically what it would involve. It is just a reconstruction of the two taxi lanes, that's the little, if you think of like a runway being interstate, the taxiways coming in being kind of arterial street. The taxi lanes are residential streets that get you access to the hangar, so it's those two pieces of pavement there. They're both basically remove and replace as they are, we're not adding or expanding anything new, we're doing the bare minimum to get, not bare minimum, but the minimum replacement to meet code and everything. And then the last page of that is simply the summary of how we broke down the costs to get to that grant amount of $750,000 total. At the very bottom, you'll see a total estimate of $750,000, the KDOT grant request of $675,000, and then the local match is the 10% of $75,000. Included in that is a roughly construction estimate of $555,000, and then professional services of $195,000. I have prepared and submitted to Mr. Dingle a contract for Venice services.
Okay, yeah.
It's in the bag, yep, in the amount of, I've got it here, $128,845. That is for survey, geotech, design, bidding, and basic project management. And it does not include the construction administration portion. The reason we don't include that at this point in time is because basically we haven't designed it. We don't know how long it's gonna go. We wanna make sure we're right sizing it. So that 128 matches the budget. Actually, it's a little less than the budget than what was put in. So we're basically unbudgeted. So I guess item number one is the request to either move forward or deny, I guess, or say we're not gonna use the funding of this project. And if we're gonna go forward, it's authorizing the contract that is started. If we do go forward, we need to get it built by this fall. So it's kind of the point where we need to go or not.
Is that possible?
Yes, it's possible. But we're running out of time.
And KDOT we're still good with KDOT.
We're still good with KDOT.
Okay.
But once after tonight, if you say the answer is no, we're gonna go form KDOT, go find somewhere else for money or give it back, or however we frame it.
You know, as I mentioned in October, my only concern is I know a year ago you delayed it, this time with Dustin was leaving and all the other things that were happening. And, you know, it bothers me when a community applied for a grant and then we got it and we go, nah, we don't want it. Because I always feel that the grant, for lack of better terms, the grant gods will go, oh. Ellsworth wanted money, but then when they got it, they said no. And of course, some of the grants we do, just keep laughing to see like CDBG one, nowadays when you apply for CDBG grants, especially community improvement one. You have to show that you have the money in place. Now, we can act on tonight. We may need to do some funding source to get the 75, but we have funds in place. we're not gonna make a motion bad, we may want to look at additional services. We got some other projects coming down tonight, the pike, especially the Third Street one, that we may want to do a comprehensive financial planning, but I would be okay if you want to move, I mean, we can make it work and do that as such, but we may want to tie some things together then, but we have money in place, we're not violating any budget laws or any cash basis or anything else. You're fine.
So before I go to the next project piece of this, is there any questions on this one specifically?
I've got some questions. Have you dealt with any municipalities in the past that have been awarded money and turned it down? And how has that gone? If they did do that?
That's a good question. I think we have. I don't think it was any sort of big penalty or anything. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's the worst thing in the world. I do agree with what Mr. Dingle said, but I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that you're gonna get like blackball or never get a grant again. Okay, that is, I can't say that, so.
My understanding is if you give money back after you've gotten it like that, that you're gonna be on a long road trying to get more. So. We've
I think we
that,
need to
we've
do
had that.
No, we wanted him to come back with the second item as well.
Yeah.
Well, both, you know, we didn't act on that, we didn't make a motion tonight to accept that, but the motion tonight would be to move forward and approve.
At that time, it's come back with a design contract
Yeah.
for approval or not, so you knew what you were more getting.
So,
This is gonna be two separate motions, correct?
Yes, but I wanna go through the next before you go anywhere.
yes, and we may want to go through the third thing.
Yeah.
Brad, does your 128,000 design contract fee, is that included here in my line? Or that's-
It is included on this.
It's in that 195.
It's included in the grant,
Okay.
and that grant is, I should speak up, that is a 90-10 grant. 90% KDOT aviation funded,
So that 128's out of that 195.
is not, no, yes, yes.
Okay, okay.
Out of the 750,000 total. So our estimate is a maximum city of Ellsworth match, 10% of 75,000. That includes what you would approve tonight. It would include a construction phase services oversight contract, and when they're approved, it would include a bid from a contractor that would hopefully happen June or July. And my goal is to keep it at that budget, not all the time, because otherwise you guys don't like me when I ask for more.
Are you still comfortable with these numbers?
It'll be close. We'll figure it out.
Okay. I mean, yeah, this is.
Yeah, these numbers are 2 to 2.5 years old or so, but we'll work through it. I understand. Okay, so let me jump to next, because it kind of phases in. So the packet 2 is the second piece we talked about, you guys can come back with, is going for an additional funding of KDOT grant. That grant opportunity is right now, it's January 1 to January 31st. KDOT Aviation has $15 million that they will accept grants on, they'll sign in roughly April. It would become available in July, which would fit our construction time. Okay. So what we're asking is a consideration, and this is up to you. It would be a new grant request in the amount of $275,000. Of which 90% would be KDOT, which is the 247.5 on the front of your page there. And a maximum additional city match of 27,500. So this only applies if you would go with the first one. If you decide the first one's not for you, just this goes away. But what we're bringing it to you for is it is the desire of the airport. And if you go to the next page, you'll see an exact same picture with the red taxi lanes. What we're asking is the blue. And it's that connection of the SRA building and to the existing hangar facility. The reason why it is of a very interesting discussion now is as I go to the funding page, which is the last one. We're not asking, or I'm not asking for any more money to do that extra design. Okay, we've already got geotech, we've already got survey, we're gonna design it. So there's an economies of scale there. It'll be a bigger contract for a contractor. And the price will never be cheaper, you know, you kind of get where I'm going. So that's why we're bringing it to you as an option. I know it's more money for a local match. We were putting in some money for construction services, because probably a longer construction contract. But other than that, is basically to cover the construction, what we think the budget of that construction would be. So if you look for number one and want to go down that route, this would be kind of What we would do is if you wanna submit for it, and again, this kind of goes back to the whole, we're not gonna submit it if you don't wanna go after it. Submit for it by end of January. Find out in April if we're selected. And regardless, I should say, assuming you have to start designing the project, we're going to go down the road of doing a design of a base bid for the project one and an add alternate for two. And we're prepared then if we get the funding or not to go forward. And then we'll come back to it at that time, be ready to construct it and start probably August or September in the fall. That makes sense?
So what does the second project do for us? I know the first one, who does taxiways to go to hangars, correct? What's the second one do?
The second one, I know it's kind of.
I know you say blue, but what's that do for us?
Yeah, so basically it goes through the grass area. We built a brand new snow removal equipment building. Back to the west of the airport near the entrance drive. It connects that to the full pavement. It also starts the full master plan for the next taxi line for the long-term future of the airport. And then connects in on the back side, which would be the west side of the city-owned hangar, right off the airport.
And if we don't approve it, what happens?
We don't know.
But I mean, what for the operations of the airport?
It stays the way it is today. I know there's concern because right now they're taxiing, specifically coming out of the west hangar on gravel. Having to tractor their aircraft because obviously gravel is not good on propellers. And then the connection to the snow removal equipment building, that you go on gravel and get out to the airport. So.
Let me really confused now. Okay. The city gets so much money from FAA every year, right?
Yes, sir.
And we have 5 years to use it, correct? It's $150 a year?
$150 a year.
A year, okay? And I know I'm getting ahead of the skis a little bit here, but I know there's talk about an additional hangar being built. That we would lease hangar space or portions of hangar thereof. If you were gonna do that project, where would those hangars go? Would this project affect them or not?
It would not affect them.
Okay.
Now, it would affect the funding because you're right. That is another road item actually coming into this fall, next about a year from now, is you do have money, and I don't know if we wanna go down this whole rabbit hole with this yet. But you're gonna have roughly in the next 2 years, $1 million of FAA funding. You already have money in the bank. To what Mr. Dinkle was you get $150,000 a year. Right, in fiscal year 26, we have 3 years of 450, plus we got about $508,000. In addition to that, the IIJA, which was that COVID relief funding from starting 2022 at Dulles. There's an additional, and I've got it written down back there, but I think it's a 330,000 somewhere in there. So right now with FAA, we have, I say banked. It's not like it's sitting on an account, but it is for the use of about $830,000.
And what will happen, again, I'm getting way ahead with our skis, but if we don't spend that $150 a year, KDOT or somebody reach out going like, hey, you don't wanna spend it. We wanna keep it in the state of Kansas. Would you give it to the city of Goodland or pick it in their city? And because I know with this, the force where I'm at, we had money that we weren't in a position to use it and we passed on to other cities because, hey, let's keep it in Kansas.
And on the other hand, then we could receive money from other cities, right, if they
If you're
use
one,
it.
the match is 90-10, so.
So we could use that FAA money to
You could-
put towards our city portion, or no?
No, unfortunately, no, you can't use the grants from either KDRFA to match as the portions going to. But I guess what he's saying is, this upcoming fiscal year, which starts in October, the city will have about 170,000, some are saying 180,000 of expiring FAA grant funding. Okay, you either use it next winter, or you just basically kind of, not say no thanks, but it goes back in the pool.
And I don't wanna bring this ahead here, but I also want you to know that there's other stuff
There's more
coming down, but there's funding to go with it and there's sources and it's how to package it all together. That's why, we have Brad kind of, gives you guidance here.
So the bracket two, is that what you're saying is maybe we can use that money for this 247,500 to pay that, not do the grant or what?
Would that be a project? Oh. I mean, they wouldn't do hangars also at some point in time. Could this
Bracket two,
package two project be done with those federal funds?
And not grant funds.
No, well, Fed grants.
Not like KDOT.
Not
But
grants,
not
yeah.
this.
Yeah,
It could be done with FA funds, yes, I think that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand.
Could it be done now with FAA funds?
It could be, the problem is we didn't program it in, because we tried to program it, FA doesn't like
No.
emergency quick money.
Okay, no problem, I mean.
No, no, no.
I'm just asking.
But to utilize a grant to build that now, we would have to have it designed and out to bid and a contractor on board by April first.
You're not gonna do
For
that.
that, to meet the FAA, this,
Okay, nope, so,
Yeah.
just, we wanna, I just wanna make sure they understand.
but next year, potentially, yes, you could, yeah.
Okay. And we're gonna get some economies of scale. If
Yeah.
you bid with alternate, and because alternate price will be cheaper than. Cause you have,
They're already coming building
Yeah.
$500,000
Yeah, that's
for
the
the
thing.
project, you're adding another 150,000,
Yeah.
right.
You're not paying for design, you're not paying for,
If we got-
you're not paying for a lot of things.
civilization goes
Yeah.
down, yeah.
And you could, but that's the reason, but there's a reason why we didn't put it in the beginning. It wasn't the impetus of the
Right.
project, but it's one of those things as you look at it, you go, you know. If we have the money in the budget, blah, blah, maybe it makes sense to do it now, maybe it doesn't, it's not for me to just.
Well, do we have 27.5?
No, we're gonna have to package some things, that's why I said
Okay.
tonight, well, you're not committed to 27.5 tonight.
No,
If you do anything, and again, we still get the third piece coming in,
but do we want to apply for
We need to apply by
That's the
January
question.
31st.
maybe.
I mean,
January 31st. May not create a-
Listen to the next piece after this, and that'll help you in your decision process.
And I would
Still
like to hear from
piece.
like Dale and Carrie too,
Mhm.
just,
They,
I know I was at their
Let's-
meeting, but I want them to be
it?
able
We
to
need a few.
What-
kind of tell the rest of us
Back.
like, what they think.
Let's.
and I did meet with them
Okay.
before, so
Yeah.
I think we're on the same page.
how much is, how much is the?
Come on, you gotta come up.
Get on up here. Let's hear it.
What? I'm just curious, I'm waiting for the third part.
Okay.
That's it.
Well,
Yes,
just-
What's the question?
Explain the fuel issue.
Okay, third issue is the fuel issue.
That actually, the next
The fuel
on the
issue?
agenda, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. We have a fuel system out at the airport that's unattended. An airplane flies in, they put the credit card in. It goes to multi-serve, city collects it, nobody has to be out. Well, when we had an AT&T phone line out there. It got to be very, very expensive. And we canceled it. Well, when we did that, they put in a voice over IP phone system. And it doesn't work on that. And I've talked to Fuel Master a lot. Yeah, the only option that we have at this point, because AT&T, they're gonna discontinue those ground, I mean, that's not an option there even, but the only option we have is to put this new system in, which is basically, I don't know that I can even explain it, but it's kind of internet based. The way they told me that it sends the credit card information out to the cloud, then sends it. Anyway, I don't think there's another option on that. Right now, it works maybe 20% of the time, not even that much, half, not even half.
So you're having people that are getting their cards declined, or they just won't work down?
It just don't, it works occasionally. So what they're doing is, I got a sign out there that said, please try your credit card several times. If it doesn't work, you can call me. We can manually fuel them and then bill them. We can do that. But it's kind of a pain though, isn't it? It is. And what's already happened is people stop buying fuel. Yeah.
So we're losing that revenue.
I think that put this as Ken, I mean, I always say, when we were kids, we used tin cans with a string. And then, of course, you know, Alexander Graham Bell created phones and we used phones and we moved the dial ups and now we're moving into the next level of phone stuff, just like we are our house and everything else. So, and Dale had got a bid from Hoyle. It's about $14,000 per square foot installation, so $15,000, it was $16,000 that cost from Hoydale to put a system in. To help pay that, there is a grant opportunity through KDOT that's a 50/50, and Brad's gonna tell us about it.
It's the same grant process we're talking about for the other one, but they do have an emergency one that's out of cycle.
Yeah.
So we would submit for that, try to get immediate back. So say if 60,000, we go for $8,000. If you wanted to do that and authorize, I advise we need to do it before you sign the contract. You can't go after the fact. You can't go buy it and then go ask for it. You're saying, hey, we just need help getting this done right away. So we could do it. I mean, it's a quick submittal. We can do it tomorrow.
So do you believe that if we applied for that, what's our likelihood to get funding for packet two?
That's a good question. I don't know how to answer it. I mean, Canada Aviation has gone from $5 million a year in grant money to 15 million last year, which has funded a lot more. It's made a big difference. Our request of $250,000 is I will advocate for it because I was part of it, I'd say integral in getting from 5 to 15, so I have some ears and I can help advocate and make a positive reason why this would matter, economies of scale, just like we talked about. So. And I guess what I would say is if you funded this and you get it, and then you don't get the other one, I mean, we just don't bill it, you're not out.
But you
Either
can't use FAA funds for this, like those stuff you'll miss.
No,
Not as
because
emergency.
again, the time period.
Okay.
Time period and all.
Just curious.
So basically, the secondary grant, which is the next item on the agenda, is for basically $8,000. We're approved at 15,086 so this is called 16 for. So
Well, if we get the
$8,000.
grant, but I mean, I'm not.
And that grant is probably, I never want to say in the bank, but it's a better one,
Which one?
emergency one.
Like not as competitive.
I mean,
Well, I
no,
think-
because they want to keep airports operating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say, the fuel one's gotta happen.
Yeah.
And it's gonna pay for itself over time.
Right.
I mean,
About a
that's
year and a
gotta-
half.
if we get the grant, great, it saves us money. If we don't, it's still something we have to do.
Right.
Yeah, there just appears to be no option on fuel. I mean,
Right.
Well, and we talked about going back to the system, but it's gonna die anyhow.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
didn't they say, wasn't it like $600 a month for that AT&T?
I think it
Well,
was
that's-
800.
yeah, I think it's more than that. More than that.
I have 800.
Klein was saying something about.
You paid for it already.
The police back, I was good. It was one that, still, it was like.
Let me put this all in perspective and then maybe, and then you guys can go from there. Not you guys, you, mayor and council, excuse me.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. And, the team, okay, anyhow, the city team. I think you have a couple options here. One is, and if I was gonna give you a recommendation, I'd say address the Hoyleville contract for 15,863.54. Approve that with along with an emergency grant application. I think, and if we don't get the grant, we'll still move forward with that. We might have to come back and get a secondary motion then, but that'd be fine to move forward. 'Cause I think if there's a chance to get the money, you might as well. It's good for the taxpayers.
How quickly would we know the result of the application?
Probably 7 to 10 days, I'm guessing, maybe quicker. I mean, it's an emergency
Like the next
request and
meeting.
we will. Knowing that you're gonna do it, I know either Al's gonna do it, or I'm gonna help, one of us is gonna do it probably tomorrow morning and we'll immediately call, we'll send, let them know it's in and get in situation and kind of. So hopefully it's relatively quick.
I think that other system was put in 2009, I believe they told me that.
That's only 17 years ago.
So it's been there a while.
I would recommend, I mean, again, I know we're jumping around here tonight. I would recommend to approve the Hoyledale, to approve the application for emergency funding in the amount, well, not to exceed. A project to be at 15,863.54, 50% of the funding. I know we're kind of jumping things up here a little bit, but that's, and we apply for the funding, and then by the next meeting, we would know if we had it. I would start there. Then maybe what you want to do next in the agenda is to approve, I can go either way, approve application for packet 2 for the grant funds. And then the other thing in the order is to go ahead and award a contract with Benish for the design for the packet 1 project.
Yeah, we need to do back one.
And the packet 1 project, that money's in the bank, So, and I will probably talk a little bit, and I have been, we may, again, if we do another project tonight. I may try to put a funding package together, but trust me, you're meeting all your. I mean, it's gonna shock a little bit because it'll hit the thing, but we have plenty of money budget in general funds, we've got no violations, so.
Yeah.
We basically bounce through it.
So. Let's,
If you want to do the Packet One project.
Oh, yeah, I think we should. We've already talked about that.
Yeah. Talk about for 2 years, yeah.
Yeah, let's get it.
Okay.
going.
so. If we approve one tonight, then we can add two in 2 weeks, is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, what is the meeting, the next meeting is when, January?
What I would do tonight is approve emergency application for emergency funding, number one.
Yeah, that's,
Then I would go to Packet One next.
okay, so let's do that.
Now, Packet Two, we can hold off to the next meeting.
Yes. Let's do the emergency one now.
Now, let's get that done.
All right, so help me walk me through this. I make a motion that.
The city council approved, application for KDOT emergency fund grant. For the project, what's it called,
Fuel master.
Fuel Master, equipment, at a total value of $15,863.54.
Can I say not to exceed 60? I don't have that from,
I think that would be great.
okay, so.
I
Madam
would
Mayor,
probably go with the exact amount of apply for a grant.
okay,
I
Madam
mean,
Mayor,
yeah.
I move that the city council approve, an application for emergency funding, for, give me the number again,
Fuel ma, yeah, $15,863.54.
$864.
It's $15,863.54.
Okay, $15,003.54.
Yeah.
I say,
Okay, I made the motion that we applied, he's second,
Okay.
for the emergency
And
fund.
then when we know we get the grant in
Yes.
place, then we'll make a motion at a subsequent meeting to approve the whole of the
Right.
contract.
Okay,
Because we don't want to approve that yet until we know, if we don't get the grant, we're gonna do it. But let's don't get ahead, because if we make a motion to do it, KDOT's gonna say, well, you made a motion, right? You don't need our funding, so
all right,
that's why. our
motion to apply is in the second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Allen, seconded by Councilmember Moon to approve the city of Ellsworth to apply for an emergency, is it KDOT?
Yes, KDOT Aviation.
An emergency KDOT aviation grant for the purchase of the Fuel Master equipment not to exceed $15,863.54. Did I get all of that?
You did, that's not
Okay,
bad.
any further discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign, motion passed.
I apologize, we're not maybe organized as it should be, but.
We need it wrote down so we know what to say.
Got it. I just want to bounce a lot of things out, because,
But we're still bouncing it around. So let's just keep. Packet one.
Okay.
There's no one.
There was-
We're gonna have to.
They'll say,
you
they
just did.
install that too
Those are the-
themselves, right?
Yeah.
Deliver and install is 4 to 6 weeks,
4 to 8
4 to 8 weeks, excuse me, okay.
But we're not gonna order it yet until we at least, and I think on behalf of the city, you have to try to, I mean, that's
Oh, absolutely.
$1,000 and you'd be wasting if you didn't do it.
So we can get it ordered better, we are.
Absolutely.
I get it, but
Yeah.
I don't wanna give him an excuse.
You're right, okay.
So now I would suggest that you go back to Packet One and approve the Benish contract of 100 and, what was it, not to exceed 120,
28,845.
that's in your packet. For design, taxi line. Project.
So we're only approving that portion of it?
Yes, but you're basically committing yourself to that full project.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You're not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're not gonna, you're gonna spend the money on the, and 90% of that cost of 100. What was the number again?
128,000, you're actually offering 10%.
You're authorizing 10%. So you're authorizing 12,000.
I didn't write the number down, somebody else has to make a motion.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to approve a contract, correct, with Benish, not to exceed $128,845, no?
If that's correct, the lump sum is what's written. So,
Yeah, well,
the lump
Okay.
sum, but that's right.
Okay, of $128,845 for design of the taxi lane project.
I'll second that.
I would probably put with 90% paid by the KDOT grant.
With 90% paid by the KDOT grant,
Maybe you should
which would be like $12,000, right?
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Okay, it has been moved by Council President Hanson, seconded by Councilmember Renard. To approve a design contract for the lump sum of $128,848. With finish, 45, excuse me, 845 with finish for the taxi lane project at the Ellsworth Airport. This includes a 90% match by KDOT Aviation. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passed.
Now we need to decide if you want to authorize application for a KDOT aviation grant, for additional tax lane construction. A total project of $275,000, and apply for 90% funding from KDOT. This would give us the authority for Brad to move forward with the application and to get it filed by the end of this month, right?
That's correct.
Well, Brad now, yeah, and Louise, yeah.
Tyler, did you get that?
I did. Do we wanna go after that money?
That's the decision you gotta make.
I think we
If
should.
you wanna wait till next time, it's up to you. Wanna wait till next?
Still we're paying the
year?
design fee.
They're all,
all
if
that
we
stuff
get it,
again,
they're gonna
right?
be here doing it and we're gonna save money. That's my opinion.
I would,
If we don't get it, then we don't, then
You said
Yeah.
doesn't fit into the long-term plan of the airport, right? So.
So we've got it now. Is that correct?
well,
We
no,
haven't got nothing.
not the packet two.
Packet two.
Packet two, we do, but we can apply for this month.
Well, let's apply.
That's what I think. I think we ought to apply. Okay,
We're just applying.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve,
application for.
an application for the KDOT grant request. It's a 90%
For additional.
for an additional, taxi lane construction. Do I need an amount?
With an estimated project of $275,000.
$275,000.
With an estimated project, $275,000.
I second that.
Okay. It's been moved by Councilmember Renard, seconded by Councilmember Moon. To have the city of Ellsworth apply for a KDOT aviation grant. Do I need to distinguish for project
Taxi lane
taxi
construction.
lane resurfacing, for a project not to exceed $275,000? Did I get all that?
Yes, you
did.
did.
Okay, on roll here. All those, any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passed.
Real quick in 20-30 seconds. So I will be back. I'll start designing. We'll bid the project. We'll get it rolling. I'll be back to you probably in the July, August timeframe. Hopefully with a successful bid and the contractor button that project up, and we'll know by then if the contract's awarded, and that'll be the next step.
Can we get military discount? We've got military people in this city. Okay.
And I do want to thank Dale and the airport board. I know Mayor's been, now Mayor, have been to the last two meetings, and
Yeah.
I think we're very fortunate to have the airport board because they do tons of work. There's a lot of value to this community and to the city. And Dale gets thanked once in a while, and that's all they get. And we appreciate that. I think the council should at least be aware of that as well. They're doing a lot.
I agree. Dale does a
Thanks,
tremendous
guys.
amount, especially with all that fuel stuff, and Harry, you're like the one-man show for mowing and snow removal, right? Yeah. All right, thanks, Brad.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys. Okay, are we to drainage structure?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Great. Madam Mayor and council members, as you all know, The box culvert near Prisker Park died around Thanksgiving time. I know I said, I'm not sure, Councilmember Bishop had got it, but you had all seen pictures I sent out about how gorgeous it looks underneath there, where metal is hanging loose and everything else, and then, and Troy said we gotta shut it down, which we did, of course. I did reach out, and again, the only reason I did reach out to, since this project had been talked about previously in another project, I reached down to Kirk Michaels just because they had already had some in there. They've come back with different numbers. So I think what you have to do tonight is, we've got to replace it. The estimate cost right now is looking right at $400,000. We're gonna have to find funding for it. There is a possibility of applying for some KDOT funding for a local project. The downside of that is you wouldn't know until July. And meanwhile, we have talked about, and those coming up too, maybe applying for local funding on a smaller amount for the crossing up by the tennis court.
Right.
That was a $40,000 project. So, be where you're doing way on those things here. If you want another engineer firm to look at, tell me if you want me to do that.
I think we need another set of eyes on that.
Okay.
I talked to a guy about that, and he said that there's no way it's that high to do that.
Which, we're talking about the culvert or
The Third Street.
The culvert. Yeah.
I said it was gonna be about that, and he was like, that seems really high.
And I can reach out to another engineer firm, again, I went with this one because that's where you've been in the past. And
Yeah.
again, you have the decision to pick engineer firms. I can reach out to a couple others, take a look at it. But I didn't want to move ahead, because if you want to move forward right faster, this is where you go. But it's what the council wants to do.
I think we need to look at it.
And Mr. Bishop, what's gonna happen in July? What were you saying about July?
If we applied for local projects, that money, that application's due pretty soon, but you wouldn't get money until at least July or August.
Yes.
Which may be a problem with this, because you're talking, we're gonna still have problems because, with the activity in the park and all the events in the park and everything else, it's gonna be a pain. I'm not arguing that. And I know the city knew, there were people that knew that the bridge was a problem, but, at one point in time, I know, and again, you was ever here, can probably correct me on this one, that they wanted to do a whole comprehensive project. The problem with this box culvert is you got a sewer line sticking through it.
Yeah. I see.
And is that a good thing, bad thing? And maybe the option is just to leave it there. The other option is to reroute it. Of course, sewer lines don't always reroute very well. Water lines are a whole lot easier because water can go up and down, where sewer can't. And those are things you have to look at.
Can we get two options?
Yeah.
And then also, I'm with Powell, I think we should have some other people take a look at this thing.
Yeah.
That's just the motion you need.
I don't need a motion. I got the consensus.
At least get another
estimates.
something.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
say the number of that.
I still don't know what that means.
You would six,
Seven.
seven, doesn't get big.
Yes.
If that's what the council wishes, we're talking consensus here. I can reach out to a couple of the firms
Yeah.
and we can move forward with it.
Yeah, I like Steve's idea of like a couple different,
let's
yeah,
get some
yeah,
They all good?
ideas.
yeah. Okay, action taken there. So next is approval for repair of fire department unit 501 aerial ladder truck. Rats.
All right, I had, I apologize, I was working before, so I didn't grab my papers, but I gave it to Alan, I pretty much know what's there. So what is before you is the dollar amount, to, take, Conrad Fire down in Kansas City is the Pierce dealer, the aerial is the Pierce truck. And during one of our training exercises, after we had it certified, what's called the pressure relief valve is actually stuck at the on position, so it's bypassing on pressure. You can see it, you can tap on it, but we can't get to it. And so I contacted them, we've been in December and got figures from them to replace that. So while we were taking it down there, what I have proposed is the entire list involves the pressure relief, the priming valve, rebuilding of all the valves, on the 2.5 and or larger, that's in the truck. And what he was able to do was give me what they call a bench charge. In other words, once we have them out, here's what it costs to fix. That's just a little bit under the $8,000 that is there. The couple things that are not in that were audible is that every one of these trucks is a custom built truck, so every one is a little bit different. So they have to be able to get to it, but the total package is about $15,000 to rebuild the pressure relief, the priming valve, and all of that. So what they're doing is they're either hard to operate or they're scarred, and when we draw a vacuum, they won't pass the vacuum side of the certification test. And so since we're gonna have to take it down there, it's like, why don't we, because you have to get into the compartment to do that. It's like, you're already in there, let's fix these others. We're also gonna have them do the waterway valve, and the manual discharges on the LDH, and the relay valves. There are a couple of electrical that he is going to take a look at that he was like, I have no idea where that's going to end up. And so that is what it is scheduled to be down. They are scheduled to start work on Monday, the 20th, which means that we need to get it down there either the Thursday or the Friday before. It's a secure facility. So we have to take it down. Over Christmas break, that was easily lined out. Now it's gonna be quite problematic, but that's what we've got to work through.
And I pushed it to districts because of budget reasons. That's, I mean, we talked about it, and we all understood to bring it to this first meeting here. We have equipment improvement funds, equipment repair funds in the budget, so budget you're set. And of course you don't want to spend it on something else with it, but still the point is you gotta have it. Just so, I'm asking this question here, from maybe half the public. Why do you have an aerial truck?
Well, so the aerial truck obviously gives us the capability to reach out to do the higher, I mean, so if you get anything, you get anything even into a second story, you're forced to do ladder work. Your ladder work is obviously not near as accessible and is by far more dangerous. We're also part of the aerial task force that originally was designed that is Ellsworth, Great Bend, Hayes, and Russell. That's the regional aerial task force. We have been to all of those cities on mutual aids, and they have been here. The other thing is in your ISO ratings and your point analysis that goes back to your aerial trucks are very, very valuable as far as your point rating and what you're going to get on that there. So the capability that an aerial gives you in your ability to deal with fires, to do rescues, to provide mutual aid, and to expand your capability, you can't get to it any other way. So as far as our ability to respond and even, what structures that we have and whatnot, the aerial gives you capability and safety that you cannot get any other way. That's the bottom line.
And I'll just say, like, they saved Torkelson's with aerial in 2011. That fire downtown without aerial, that Torkelson's building would have been toast. So aerials are very valuable in this community. And I mean, helping other communities, they're very valuable.
And what was the life of that valve?
What's the life of the valve?
Yes, how long did that last before it broke down?
Well, it's gonna depend on obviously usage as well. So the truck is a 2002.
Okay.
It is at the end of its serviceable life. I will just tell you that bluntly. It's at the end of its serviceable life. The kind of the standard needs to be approached, I think, from a perspective is that when you have a frontline engine and or your aerial is a very big piece of equipment. But at 25 years, you need to start the process of replacing that, because by the time you do the design work, the finalization and the order, that's a 5-year process.
Okay.
So if we were to go tomorrow and start the design work, it will take over a year to probably do the design work. And then if you were to place the order tomorrow, it's 3 years plus out. So you take a truck that's an 02, so we're looking at 24 years. If we started tomorrow, it'll be 29 years before it gets replaced. It's actually past what's considered its viable service life. There are so many components. So what I'm trying to do with this is I'm trying to maintain it in as high a functioning capacity as I can.
What would a new aerial truck approximately cost for brand new?
I know Alliance is working.
I know the number, I want you to say it
$2
there.
million. $2 million.
So that's why it's important to take care of these things, you know, and another thing, and this will come later discussions this spring. We need to go to our two districts that we cover for and increase what they pay. What they pay is they pay the same amount of money forever.
Like the townships?
Yeah,
Yeah,
townships.
I've heard, yeah, we need to bump that
We
up.
need to bump it up, but again,
Wow.
we're not gonna discuss that tonight, don't need to, but again, since Chief's here. That's a thing we have to look at because it's not cheap and again. I always say fire department is one of those groups that. I want them to have the best equipment possible and I wish it would just sat there. I would just, I mean, if we didn't have a fire all year long, I'd be happy as all get out.
Okay.
It don't happen that way, but the minute that your house starts on fire, or your house starts on fire, or your business starts on fire. You want them to be ready to play the game, and that's what you have to do.
Well, and like your runs, if you took how many runs are actually in the city of Ellsworth, I bet that's. Few and far between for all the stuff on.
Yeah, so as far as the total number of runs, yes, we could generate that. I can't tell you what it is right now. But it's probably going to be 25%.
Would it be like?
I mean, by the time we do what we run for the rescues and the medical and the backup structures, no. But when you add all of them in and say, is it originating out of the city? It's a lot of our calls are obviously gonna be rescue calls. Et cetera. Yes,
Are you staying to the end of the meeting?
yes, I will be here.
I got something I want to talk about fire, the rest of the issue.
That's totally fine.
After we
Yeah.
get done, but really, I figured it now, I'll wait till the.
No, I will be here.
So I would recommend that you approve,
Madam Mayor. What am I looking? Okay, I move to approve repairs of fire department unit 501 with Conrad Fire Equipment Incorporated in the approximate amount of $15,000.
And I second. Just that quick.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Renard and seconded by Councilmember Moon to approve repairs of Fire Department Unit 501 with Conrad Fire Equipment Inc. in the approximate amount of $15,000. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passed.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Okay, discussion of interest of an entity to purchase a parcel of city-owned property.
Madam Mayor and council members. 3 weeks ago, right before Christmas at least, I had a person in town that wanted to buy that lot that we described over there. It's on the map, it's a little area that's marked there. Of course, I said we can't sell it to a council approves it. I have been told that the Western Electric Cooperative is very interested because they have some other property in that area. They own that to the north, don't they?
The substation.
Substation.
That's the problem.
But,
That's right to the back of our sub. We're gonna have to have
yeah, so
the city stuff.
west of the,
South.
yeah, it's where, Rolling Hills used to have poles, right?
Yeah, and they probably had a lease.
Yeah, these with the city.
Yeah, and I talked to them and they were even a lease or something that could be done.
You know, and
And that's,
the point is we need to, I would recommend after, I'll put that to be tonight, is that we wait on this one because it's very important to electrify to our community. And maybe talk to them first. The other person was gonna use it for another use. There is some problems with that property because it's in a floodplain. And, and so is I too, but if the use is basically there now and access to it, so, I would recommend that you table the discussion on this and await from, communication with Western Electric. Western Cooperative Electric?
yeah, Western Cooperative Electric.
Yeah, that'd be my recommendation because I think they're a long-term partner to the city. And having electricity community is, I mean,
I know the other party had another location prior to this that they
Yeah.
were looking at, so
right,
it wouldn't be the end of the world if they didn't. go
Right.
there.
And if Western leased it or whatever, we wouldn't have to rezone it, but if another
no, they
entity.
went to rezone, they're in zone about what they wanted to do.
Right, but the
The
other
question-
entity.
the question-
would have to rezone.
And I don't wanna get into that yet, because I wanna keep some confidentiality here. it'd be something you'd want to talk about.
Yeah.
That's why if you were gonna sell it, for maybe utility purposes, I would say you would never sell property unless you would have one, your sealed bids. Or know how they're gonna do the property, because, you know, you do have houses, you know.
Yeah.
Less than a stone's throw away, I mean, not that far away, and I think that's important for you to understand the planning commission and everything else. Over the utility usage, that's nothing new, because that's what's there now, you know, so.
So let's follow your recommendation.
I would recommend to make a motion to table discussion until we have this discussions with,
Western Cooperative
Thank you.
Electric, WC, say that.
I've been a customer since I'm.
Do I have to make a motion? I
I
move
would.
to, I move to table the discussion on the purchase of the.
The sale
The sale. The sale of the,
of city property
city property
until we have discussions with
until we have discussions with
Western Cooperative Electric.
Western Cooperative Electric.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
It's been moved by Councilmember Moon, seconded by Councilmember Renard to table this agenda item until we have conversation with Western Cooperative Electric. Any further discussion?
Real quickly, just because everybody knows Tyler is an employee, Tyler can vote on this because he receives no personal gain either way. It's not a conflict of interest in my opinion at all, so he does not need to abstain because, you know, he's representing on behalf of the city, just similar to what we had with Councilmember Allen last month. It was like, you know, buying new gear did not make him any more money. He was providing something that was good for the community.
Didn't even give me a new gear.
But I would explain it when the public ever had it.
Thank
So,
you. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign, motion passed. Okay. Now we're to resolution 2026-01, resolution authorizing cashback transactions. Is that right?
yeah, okay, Madam Mayor and council members, these next five resolutions are simply because the mayor is no longer here, the former mayor Finnegan is not here anymore, and this removes him from the signature card.
Okay.
That's all it does. I would suggest that you run through these five fairly quickly. I would suggest, for the benefit of the city clerk, that one of you makes all the motions, one of you does all the seconds. If you want to mess with her, maybe you take care of the motion, then don't. But, you know, and this is one of those things, some people do a consent agenda. I don't like the resolution. It's just the Allen thing. Because they are important documents and that it's in their own, but they're also fairly simple.
Did we need to add anyone?
I was
And is
gonna,
that gonna be, should that be part of the motion,
Okay.
remove and add, or no?
Okay.
the council president is an automatic signer,
Okay.
so if when Darcy goes into council president's spot, that leaves us one signer short.
So we would just have to,
I would
English, fine.
suggest one of those two gentlemen, because there's someone each we can hold of. As another senator and signer.
I would, no offense, but I would think Steve, since we appoint, or you were elected for the longest period of time, and you were elected, I
And
suppose.
we can help, we can find you on a bad day.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, there's no leaving town. Without written permission.
Right.
So do I just need to say remove Finnegan and add?
Yeah, that's Steve, yeah.
To everything.
Yes.
Okay, Madam Mayor, I move to approve resolution 2026-01, updating authorized users for the account to remove Daniel A. Finnegan and to add Stephen Bishop.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved by Council President Hanson, seconded by Councilmember Renard to approve resolution 2026-01, updating users for the account, including the removal of Daniel A. Finnegan and adding Stephen Bishop. Any discussion?
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Okay,
I'll do the seconds. He's gonna do them, I'll do the seconds.
so next is
Okay.
the.
Keep it simple.
Okay,
Madam Mayor, I move to approve resolution 2026-02, updating authorized signers for the account, which includes to remove Daniel A. Finnegan and to add Stephen Bishop.
I'll second that.
It's been moved by Council President Hanson, second by Councilmember Renard to approve resolution 2026-02, updating authorized signers for the account. You need any more than that, Saturday? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passed.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve resolution 2026-03, updating authorized signers for the account.
I'll second that.
Been moved by Council President Hanson, second by Councilmember Renard to approve resolution 2026-03, updating authorized signers for the account. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passed.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve resolution 2026-04, updating authorized signers for the account.
Second that.
It's been moved by Council President Hanson, second by Councilmember Renard to approve resolution 2026-04, updating authorized signers for the account. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Last one.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve resolution 2026-05, updating authorized signers for the account.
I'll second that.
It's been moved by Council President Hanson, second by Councilmember Renard to approve resolution 2026-05, updating authorized signers for the account. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Sorry, you guys weren't discussing any of that. Okay, so next up, you move closer. Discussion for filling the city administrator position.
Madam Mayor and council members, of course, I've now been in since December 23rd of last year.
We should
2024.
have some confetti.
Uh-huh.
We should have some confetti.
Now, well, thank you. Especially if you had bake, yeah, but, you know, and I think when I first came to this agreement, I think everybody kind of knew that it was gonna be somewhere between 4 months and like most normal to maybe a year and 4 months or more because of transpiring. I've enjoyed the role, no doubt, and hopefully I've brought some expertise to the community, to the council, as we get through the transition. However, as from the get-go, we had an initiative, we talk about it now. You don't have to talk, you don't have to move forward tonight if you want to look at options. You know, if you do want to hire out, it's probably gonna be a 4 to 6 month process. I'm not running away. You know, hopefully Nicholas will have a house here by midsummer, we'll be moving in, hopefully, and move forward with that. So, you know, it's your call though, but if you want to start the process, we need to start talking about that, maybe not tonight, maybe if you want to hire, you know, do you want to hire with, you know, use with the, I mean, as I put in the packet, you know, the city of Anthony is hiring, is just using their own hiring system, hire like we did the police chief. Other cities hire a firm, and you've hired a firm in the past year, you used John last time, who actually now probably be with the League of Kansas Municipalities. And I'm guessing that's a fee of $5,000 to $7,000. I haven't reached out to them, I can do that. But, you know, you need to get talking about it, and again, I'm not running away. And as I said from the get-go, if you want me to go tonight, just tell me. And I by contract have to give you 30-day notice, technically you do too, but the point is, you know, I think it's always been a mutual benefit, and I mean, again, it's been, I always say I was ready to retire, but I've also enjoyed doing it. We've got a great staff here and work through it. And then just working through what we've done with the councils last year. You know, I can honestly say from when I look at council meetings from October, November in the 2024 to where you at, the city, you as a mayor and council now have made astronomical progress in there. And I'd like to think I was part of that process, but I think we've moved on. And I feel good that you're. So it's been tough for me to do it, but you know, life moves on too. So.
Well, Mr. Dick, I thought you did excellent job orchestrating and with the subcommittee. Orchestrating the number of people that we had that applied for the seat of the police chief. So if you can be instrumental in doing your magic to identify who you think would be good candidates I enjoyed that process.
Yeah, I mean, if we could do, I mean, cause we've hired them twice, and it's kind of. Hit or miss, and I mean, it really is, it's, still, you don't know till they get hired what they're gonna be like, so, and we could do it kind of in-house, maybe save money.
Yes.
If you think that'd be something that would work.
I can do it. I mean, that's not a problem. You know, what we'd probably do is, you know, move to the next meeting or two. And maybe say some, cause I think you have to develop what you're looking for in your ad. You know, what skill set are you looking for? And I think that's important, you know, and I can, if you want me to, I can start drawing up, you know, minimum experiences and stuff like that. You know, you know. And I always go back, as you know, 37 years ago, a city of Western Kansas took a chance on a kid with an animal science degree that knew nothing about city government. There was a county agent for almost 10 years and hired him as city administrator, and looking at him now. So it's and again, I don't think I brought government skill, but I brought the skills. And when I made the move, and of course, Mayor with her occupation and her, she says, "How do you do that? What's the difference?" I says, "It's no difference. It's about dealing with people." I knew about finances. I just come through the 80 farm price as a county agent and knew how to handle finances. So, you know, there's skills there, but you know, if you're okay with that, I'll start the process of bringing that to the
Maybe we
Mm-hmm.
meeting.
need to all be thinking or writing down like what
What
we're looking for. And put that together. Because some of us have been here through
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
three administrators, so I think we need to all sit down and think about what. Hopefully to get somebody here for the long term and not 2 years or,
you need to shoot for 5.
Yeah.
That's really what you need to do.
I guess that was my question in my head, is that I've heard in the last 3 years, lots of stories about the history of administrators and things that happened. And are we always, because of the size of our city, going to be a stair step?
This is no. You may be, you may not be. You may not be, you may find that person. I mean, you gotta realize that, you know, everybody knows that I spent, last year to the city, 6,000. But I spent the first 25 years in 3 cities to less than 3,000 and 1 city at 6,000. So, I mean, I never left. You know, I left Hoyson because I got, after a tornado, and it's really weird. And every manager that goes through a disaster, I got bored. I mean, it's the weirdest thing, everybody that goes through a major disaster, but, because, you know, what else can I do?
Don't
We
use
just-
us.
Huh?
Yeah, don't say that. Yeah.
I don't wanna do it.
Yeah.
So, I can bring you stuff next meeting and maybe you, maybe
Yeah.
something you can think about, but you need to get started, because I mean, the community needs somebody, you know. Where I struggle right now is I don't wanna make decisions that encumber a next administrator. And so I'm trying to be careful, we still gotta move ahead, of course. Plus, I think Patrick and I have discussed before, you bring somebody in and they can start looking at some, you know, 3 and 4 and 5 year goals to work with the commission. I think your timing right now is perfect because all you're here for 2 more years. And 3 you're here for 4 more years. And so I think you have that, you know, it's a good time. If you can bring somebody in later this year, it would have 1.5 years. It doesn't become an election process then, because you wait till next year. If you had to, you would. But next year, then you have people say, well, you don't want onward to hire till I'm on there and those things. And so, you know, the timing is perfect.
Yeah.
So I'll bring stuff back.
Okay.
So,
Great.
Thank you. Okay, well, I think it's with a heavy heart, we say, we need to fill Patrick's position.
Yeah. Council, I know it's been a really long meeting. I'm kind of emotional, but it's relatively for me, so I wanted to just say a few things real quickly. Some of you know, I grew up with some of you guys. But a lot of you know, I grew up in this town and started my legal career here. When I moved to, out away in 2022, I helped transition an attorney I recruited to the town to this role, and then, when she left for a different opportunity, I got the chance to come back a couple of years ago. And it's just been wonderful for me from a career perspective. I really enjoyed the challenge and helping out here. But also on a personal perspective, from a personal standpoint, it's been such a blessing to be here the last couple of years. Because I was able to come to Ellsworth and have an excuse to be in town. And before and after meetings, I spent a lot of time visiting my grandfather when he got ill. I got this job 2 years ago around the same time that he got his diagnosis. And then I was also helping my parents when they were deciding to move and retire, and also my grandmother Lesta, as she did it. So just in addition to just loving this community, growing up here, growing with you guys and helping you guys, which has been very meaningful, it just was a great blessing that I had a reason to be in this town for the last couple of years. However, I have taken a job that's gonna have meetings on the same night as you guys. And as part of that job, they asked me to step aside from my other duties, so. This is gonna be my last meeting here for a while, forever, essentially, although it's hard for me to say that. I told Pat when he left, I will see him again, but I'll see him at the golf course and not in the commission, but anyway. I think you'll have good, I believe you'll be able to fill this role, it'll be up to you guys to fill it. I will not be at your meetings until the role is filled. I will be available to Mayor, Count, and Alan, anyone else who needs me on staff, by email and phone. I'm not, going, I mean, I won't be at the meetings, I cannot be in two places at once. But I'm not just leaving, I've got two ethical considerations. One is I can't leave a client without representation, but I also, can't stay representing a client that I don't have the time to do a good job on, so anyway. I think Alan's, I don't know how you guys are gonna handle that, I think probably
I have some.
direct people toward Alan and he'll help you guys.
Okay,
Thank you for listening.
Thanks, Patrick.
with that in mind, and again, I always tell Patrick, we talk about it a little bit. My demands as a city main administrator interim is totally different than maybe one of the administrators you had, because Patrick and I, a lot of times we'll talk not about the law, but maybe I just need somebody with Ellsworth experience to bounce things off, and he'll tell me if it's good or bad or different, because, and in fact, he's adopted some of the things I've done, how to make an exec session, and we do things, but the point is, I think they're good. What I did was, but he told me in December, I started looking, I sent letters out to different law firms. As of today, we have 2 and then possibly a third, I gotta call this afternoon. I decided I needed to put in the paper, just like any job, even though it's limited to apply. And due to the holiday season, I couldn't get it into last week's paper. So I have a date of the 16th. What I would recommend to the council is to appoint a committee of the mayor, the council president, myself, to screen those and to bring a recommendation at the next meeting.
Sounds good.
Next week sometime we do that, but since it's the council's hire to enter a contract, and again, I don't know the one firm that applied, they look very good, and the other person's talked to me last week, I'm confident, so I think you're gonna be fine. And we'll transition through it, and again, I was here probably 2 weeks last year, you had to go in and said, "Are you okay?" And I go, "What?" He says, "Your former city administrator called me every day," and I says, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I call you you call me more than I call you. And the point was that was fine because we had a good understanding, and I've enjoyed the last year working with Patrick totally, because we, it was a different level, and so it's fun.
Timing is really good on all these things, though, like, it's, for you guys, it is a good spot for you guys to get a new city attorney, because Alan's a great person to know how to direct that. I'll help however you guys want me to, but also, Alan's completely right. This is a great time to start the search for his replacement, because we've got continuity of council. I've seen councils hire a new administrator right before an election, and it's not really fair to anybody, because that switches over, but you've got all those things going on, so, yeah. That's why I should have said it too. I'm very proud of whatever help I had to put the city back in a good spot. I think I'm really proud to watch you guys, see you guys run this meeting, which is taking too long, so I'll stop talking.
But you've done well then. So I would recommend a motion to name a committee of the three I mentioned. To narrow
Madam
down.
Mayor, I make a motion to get the mayor, the council president, and city administrator to screen potential city of Ellsworth attorneys. And then bring us something at what meeting?
Next meeting.
Next meeting.
I'd like to be part of that committee.
No, we gotta keep numbers down. Let's keep it between
We got three, we're good.
the leadership,
Okay.
on this case here.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Renard, seconded by Councilmember Allen to create a search committee or screening committee to consist of the interim city administrator, the mayor and council president to screen applicants for city of Ellsworth city attorney and bring back this to the next meeting.
Yeah.
Present to council next meeting. Any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passed.
And I'll communicate.
Good. Okay, department heads. Scroll down. Ralph, you wanna go first?
Talk about the Russell County thing and then I'll add my 2 cents. Top of it, that I kicked off today.
Okay, so I guess this is more a little bit of, some awareness of some of the conversations that's been had, and then I've had some correspondence. So as you know, a couple of weeks ago, I've lost track, it's been 2 weeks ago, we were called for a mutual aid assistance up in Russell County for a very large, grass fire. And as we were, one of the units as they were responding, had mechanical failure. And ended up, they ended up going down in through the ditch and into the pasture and whatnot. That as far as an accident investigation, there was no fault on that. As far as I know, they were all buckled in. There was no, there was no reckless driving or anything. It was failure. But as a result of that, when that truck went down into the ditch and the shackle had broke on the front axle, when they went down into that, it damaged the battery compartment and that shorted out and started a second fire, which ended up being quite large. One of the things then that I got notified of is that, and there again, I'm trying to look at it from his perspective, but apparently one of the Russell farmers had been like, well, I've got many, many thousands of dollars worth of losses and fence damage and whatnot. Hey, who's gonna help me with that and what's going on? And that ended up being, well, here it was, that fire was caused by, well, that was caused by the Ellsworth Fire Department. They thought it was the county. There's a story that goes with that, but anyhow. And so I had forwarded an email to Alan and to Patrick, but I've also been in talk with the emergency management. And so I cannot put my hands on the mutual aid contracts that were signed with the adjoining districts many, many years ago. I do not know where those are at. But I am pretty confident that in those, that there is wording something to the effect that if when we respond for mutual aid, if there is damage or cost, we absorb that as an agency coming in. And I'm also under the impression that there's a hold harmless clause that is in those. I talked with emergency management and he may have already sent it to me, but Keith was going to find the state mutual aid contracts, which also have a hold harmless immunity clause. In other words, when an agency is called for a mutual aid, that if there is something that does happen because of that, that they cannot be held liable for that. And it's in that. Now, I do not have that document yet, but I did forward that down.
This morning, Angela received a note from, and why this person, so this farmer went to the Farm Service Agency in Russell. And trying to find money to repair their fence, and I'm sure they burned fence posts. And the person at FSA office actually thought it was, but then she reached out to the county, and then she reached out to here and says, you're liable for it, basically. I disagree, we have sent it to our insurance carrier. I'm still arguing that we shouldn't, because we wouldn't have been there if we weren't offering mutual aid. And we want to offer mutual aid, I mean, totally.
Quit holding it. That's how they're gonna be.
No, we need them here at the county. I mean, that point is, I was very, I don't know, I wasn't around you, I'm glad we weren't together, because it might not have been nice. I just, because we were working, we were helping in the neighborhood community, which we should do every day of the week. And to have this, and, the farmer itself has not reached out to us. It was the FSA office, which I thought quite strange that she did do that. We have to turn it into our insurance company, and, we'll start working that, and we'll take a look at this documents and everything else, but.
So nobody knows where those contracts are at, Ralph?
I'm guessing that someplace in the city files, there've got to be something someplace. And if I dig far enough and long enough, there might be some stuff at the station. I personally have not seen that they were signed long before my tenure.
But I think bottom line is there is a state sample on these, and I've worked on mutual aids in the past too, but you know. When Angela said that to me this morning, I was tied up with Councilmember Bishop. We were talking when I got in, and I was not pleased. Because, you know, we were helping the kid.
Yeah.
That bothers me a lot, but we just want to inform you since.
Yeah, and I do, in my tenure, even as chief, but even in the years that I've got in, is I am unaware of literally of the hundreds of times that we've gone and done mutual aid. I am unaware of any time that there's been any kind of an ask for something like this. I was actually caught off guard. I mean, on one hand, it's like, okay, he's like, I've got thousands of dollars. Hey, is there money out there? On the other hand, it's like, you know, hey, it was a bum day for a lot of people, but hey, I'm sorry. And most of the time, you know, when we're called and things like that are going on, people are like, man, I'm really glad you're here. Thank you. They're grateful. The idea of actually coming and going, hey, you owe us for that is pretty foreign.
Right.
Yes, I stewed on that quite a bit, but,
We want to inform you about it.
but yes.
And I know that works both ways because we lost a truck and we can't go back and go after them because that's part of that mutual aid is we incur that risk of us taking equipment, you know, to another, because I mean, I've seen that happen where we at the bombing range, we had a mutual aid and somebody came up and they weren't smart and lost a truck to the fire. They couldn't do anything about that. So I know it's written there somewhere.
And I'm pretty confident it's there. I just can't put my hands on it. On the flip side, I went to a wildland training this Saturday, and I was incredibly proud of this department's legacy and the guys is the footprint and the reputation that this department has for being able to offer mutual aid and take care of stuff goes well beyond the counties that we bump into. This was a North Central, and it was Mitchell County, Jewel County, Cloud County, Republic County, all the way up into there. And I ended up having a lot of dialogue with both the instructors and a lot of questions of people is we've built a long ways, come a long ways. The boys have a very good reputation of showing up and dealing with some pretty nasty stuff. And I take great pride in, I've had other surrounding counties actually say, is Ellsworth coming? Yes. Okay, we're gonna get it taken care of.
Yeah.
That's a pretty awesome reputation. I intend to keep it and make it better. Yeah, Steve.
Who all's in this? The group that we support?
The aerial task force
Well, is that part of that
or
or
the mutual aid?
mutual aid?
So mutual aid is there are signed contracts that I'm confident that there's signed contracts with every adjoining fire district around us that basically says, if you call, we'll come. And then there's basically I'm gonna use that, Patrick may have owned correctly, a gentleman's contract that is like, for example, like when we had like the 4 counties fires. We were called, but we were unable to respond because we were busy on our own. And even like for the Anderson fire, way down along the county line, like 4 years ago, we sent one unit down to there because they were hauling for everything. But like, so we've been up into every county. So when they call, then that goes out for a bit. So then like I will make a determination like, okay, so if we go up into Russell County with the conditions it's are, maybe I'm gonna send 4 units because I've got stuff that I need to care for here. What if? And I always approach it with, I'm gonna take care of the problem at hand. But by the same token, you know, we were working a fatality wreck in nasty weather the other night and we're in the south end. As soon as I could, I freed up 2 of the other units and sent it back because what happens if something goes on the interstate?
So where I was headed with this was, is there a good chance that these contracts would have all been the same and that other entities would have copies of it?
I would say yes.
Then if we can't find it here, we might be able to contact some of these people find out when and what the contract looks like, what dates they were signed, and then go back and look at our stuff.
And I would say yes.
A lot of it's unfolded just today, so we're both giving them a shot.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, and I mean, just from the legal perspective, I mean, we get called in by different counties, so even if somehow we could not find a written contract for mutual aid. Obviously, we were part of Russell County's emergency response plan for this level of fire because they called us, so we know that they were expecting us because they called us, we didn't just.
Okay.
So we didn't just hear there was a fire and show them, so.
Right.
So there'll be lots of bodies of law that we'll have to get looked at. It's unfortunate we're having to go through this, but I'm confident that either common law mutual aid doctrine or an actual written contract can protect this.
Yeah, I'm a little perplexed as well as why. I guess that's just the nature of
Today's world.
society is at this point.
Yeah.
We can get some free money somewhere, let's go do it.
So, but that's just to kind of make you aware of the politics of my life sometimes. So, I do have one other thing, unless there's any other questions on that. Just as an update, and I think I brought this up, the correspondence with Mico and the training facility is basically done. And Alan and I've had some conversations about trying to acquire, the property so that we can move forward with that. One of the cool things about, and there again, I have not gotten a call. I am expecting one and sort of dreading one at the same time, but when ISO does their updates, that if you have a training facility, a multi-story training facility, that is worth a whole lot. I do know that this project was being brainstormed in a much smaller category the last time ISO was here, and somehow or another, they gave us credit for it. And I will confess to you that if they show up and we don't have one, I don't think that would bear it, but the structure is basically done. The next phase for us is to secure the property, and then we will work on donations to get the concrete so we can get it up. So we're progressing on that, and that's done outside of budget money.
I know the answer, but for the public and the council. What's our ISO rating? And I'm gonna guess we see that number, for most communities of our size in this part of the state, it's probably almost double to that.
Yeah, so we're a 3.
In most cities around here, probably are 5 or 6, yeah.
Well, if ISO shows up, they can just tell them
Yeah.
to burn down.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, there we go. So anyhow, does anybody have any questions for me? All right, thanks very much.
Ruffles, you got anything for us?
Today, they started working on the in well. There was a mishap on the delivery of some product. So tonight, the guy came and picked up, gave us a new product that we had to have, put the other product back. So tomorrow morning, they will start acidizing that well. And fixing that well, so it'll be probably Thursday afternoon, it'll be back up. So we're down to 2 wells, which is only 340 gallons a minute, so hopefully, nothing goes on. And if we have to, we'll just keep running the plant, and sometimes it runs till midnight, so. And, but other than that, I think we're sitting pretty good.
Dave, how long will it take for that to be repaired?
It should be no later than Thursday afternoon. And then we'll start, and hopefully they'll have number 8 motor back too by Wednesday, and we'll be able to have number 8 come back online too. So then we'll have, by Thursday, we should have 4 wells back up and running, and have almost 600 gallon head, so.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. All right, Patrick, anything else?
No, I said everything I needed to. Thank you all.
We appreciate your
Thanks,
time.
Patrick.
Right.
Okay, city clerk?
Actually, if I could respectfully ask council to, stick around after adjournment. There are lots of things to sign. Evening, please, and thank you.
Right, city administrator.
Got a few things, I don't know, let's kick those goes some ground, we're gonna talk about it then, but, Deb Oldie, the director of the Northwest Central Regional Planning Commission, sent me a note earlier this month that according to their bylaws, the largest city of the third class in the area is to be represented on the board. Ellsworth is a city of the third class, even though there's some cities second that are smaller, but we're city of third. So we're allowed a board member. I understand they meet every other month. It could be a council person, it could be a city employee. A long time ago, I served as on Northwest Kansas. A long time ago, and so it'd be very possible, but we need to identify somebody. To do that. You know, one of you could do, they are having a board meeting on the 29th. That's when they'll discuss it. We could probably even put in a name and then, change it. Does anybody want to do it? Like I said, they meet, basically, you meet around the region, don't you not?
Yes, depending on. We try and go around the region since there are 12 counties. That way it's not the same drive for everyone. Sporadically, we have went more north, but just random, I guess.
And if one of you want to do it, of course, the city would cover your mileage because you represent the city. And we have those things, so.
And where's it at?
So it would be at our office in Beloit,
In Balloon.
is the primary location that we mostly meet at.
You guys go all the way east to Erie or Dickinson?
Our county ranges from Ellsworth, Saline, Dickinson, all the way up to Marshall, Washington, clear up to basically the Nebraska border.
We're the south edge.
So
So let's say.
the last time you had representation from our city, who, was it our city administrator, or was that a staff member, or?
The last time,
Mayor, I have a little institutional knowledge. It has frequently, not always been the city administrator. I remember I did it for a little while, when we had an interim, but handled it, Scott Moore did it, Rusty Veronica did it. Not saying you have to, and it may not, with an interim, you might not want to, but I enjoyed it when I was doing it. They do a lot of things. And you hear about a lot of interesting kind of economic development type stuff and community development type stuff, and they're a good organization.
My notes from Deb said Stacy Schmidt was the last person.
So economic development.
Okay. And Kevin hasn't said anything about it, so he got to say anything else.
You got the same email, I would almost ask him and see if he's interested or if anyone else is. Yes, really, are you volunteering? I feel like you are.
I think we should ask whoever you just talked about. Ask him if you can, and if he's not, let me know,
Okay,
and we'll go from there.
sounds good.
Okay, so Alan Yule or.
Yeah, we'll get on right after. Give it.
Okay, fantastic.
Sorry, waiting. Also, I know you hear me talk about this, everybody, I don't make a big deal about it, but we got our K-Mid loss report. Council members, the city itself. Thank God we have employees that are careful, we don't have accidents, our work comp rate. And trust me, everything I make a big deal about, but I've been in cities where our work comp mod is double to what's here. Which if it was double, the work comp insurance would cost twice as much. Hats off to the employees, staff, safety. We just do an outstanding, they do an outstanding job and appreciate it and they deserve all the recognition they get. We are gonna probably talk about, not, of course, the big news last week, the city council was a shooting in the Lawrence City office. City employees can to carry in this building, we have a policy because we have to allow concealed carry. However, we haven't had it here, but the city was, what used to be in, we talked about it, but you can't leave it laying on your desk either, so maybe something we'll talk about with employees, I don't know if we have anybody that carries now. But it just happens, what happened in Lawrence is gonna fold out, I'm not sure how it's gonna unfold, Ted, because, they did not. If you're gonna allow no guns in your building, you have to have security at the door. Because if I say you can't carry a gun, I have to assure you that nobody else is carrying a gun. And so, and we can't afford to do that, nor I don't think we want to. But the point is, what happened in Lawrence and of course, that one, that's gonna be interesting to watch it unfold, but I think we have to think about it. We'll work with Brian a little bit on some water stuff to get the project over last fall going. And we're doing some interviews hopefully this week for some more water employees. We lost one here the first year, and we have one that's out right now but she's coming back like duty pretty soon.
Yeah, she is.
She's back, okay, and it was coming up, so all happening good. We have homework, we have a succession course, but welcome to the new mayor and re-elected council, a new council member. Again, it's my pleasure, and a newly appointed council member also. Pleasure to work with you all, and I know we're 2 hours long tonight, but folks, you made a lot of things happen tonight, and I wish to do more. If you read my motions, I try to make, I'm probably more explicit in motions, but that way the world knows what you're doing. And again, I may take a little time explaining stuff a few times. I think it's important, if you ever have a question during a meeting, don't think you're embarrassing me by asking a question. Because a lot of times, I know you know the answer, I know the answer, but we want to make sure everybody else knows the answer. And I think that's the important tool we have to gain the trust of this community back with the government, with the city. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, one more question.
Okay.
Are we still on track with our new police chiefs to start February 1?
Yes,
Fantastic.
in fact, he'll probably be bouncing, he's not here tonight, is he? It's 80 coming in, but I think he's gonna pick up his we're gonna give him his cell phone, some of the other, maybe we should move forward with one.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, city council, Councilmember Allen. Councilmember Moon.
I was just going to ask if we had a designation for lamps or old Christmas trees or something like that.
And, yeah.
That's what I was gonna ask.
I did reach out to KC, I'm waiting for an answer. The initial thing was that was a landfill at one time, they're hesitant. But I haven't got a firm answer, I'm gonna check back with them. Since that was there's stuff buried out there. And they're pretty particular about that, so trying to get an answer, and I haven't got that yet, I'll follow up on that, thank you. Christmas trees, did anybody call, I don't think, have we? I'm assuming there's some kind of Christmas tree, they're clean, there's probably somewhere that you can go.
For landfill.
Hmm?
For landfill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And then now the other question I had is several months ago, I think her name was Deb Brown. She brought in something about cat neutering or
We're working on a new grant application.
Okay. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah, through the Smoky Foundation,
Community Foundation.
yeah, whatever it's called, yeah.
Okay, Councilmember Bishop.
This probably has more to do with thinking about security issues, but I've noticed a couple of instances when I was inside the city office where people come in and they're irate, and sometimes they get a little out of hand. I would hate to think that something might happen, but so anyway, I had thought at one point that about the idea of purchasing intercom system. And what they do is they have like 4 or 5, 6 stations, just have it there on the desk, but they're connected. So one intercom, like if you had one in your office, one was in City Hall, one was at PD. One was even, I'd have to talk to county over at the county dispatchers. And It just sits there until you push the button, and when you do, everybody on the intercom system hears what's going on at your point. And if you almost want to say a silent alarm, I know PD's next door, I know the law enforcement center's down the block. But when that kind of stuff goes down, it's in seconds. And so if you can get things stopped before they get started, so just something to think about. I looked at the system, and I think it was less than $300.
We can take a look at it. The project.
Thank you. That's a good
Anything else?
suggestion.
Council President Hanson,
No, I don't have anything.
Councilmember Renard.
I don't have anything.
Okay, I guess I'm next. The only thing I have to say is thanks, guys. Like, this was a great meeting. Sorry y'all had to wait, but like Alan said, we got a lot accomplished in what seems like a short amount of time. So onward and upward to the next meeting. But we have executive session first. So I would entertain a motion to move into executive session. Minutes enough?
Okay. Council, I'm sorry, Madam Mayor, I move to go into executive session for preliminary discussion of the acquisition of real property relating to the sewer improvements project pursuant to KSA 75-4319B6, and to include the mayor, city council, city attorney, and interim city administrator for 10 minutes, beginning at 7:41 and ending at 7:51.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved by Council President Hanson to move into executive session. Seconded by Councilmember Renard. We'll start at 7:41 and at 7:51. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Madam Mayor,
Oh, pardon me.
so the public knows, there may or may not be an action taken after executive session. It's a minor action if we take one, but that way it's only a few left and, you know, there could be, so they must stick around 10 minutes, bring back up.
Mike, good to see you.
On returning from following motion, I move the city council return from executive session where no decision was made or no action was taken. You were reading, right?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm sorry.
that's okay.
That'd be confusing.
I'd like to second that.
I'll second it.
Right, it's been moved by Councilmember Allen, second by Councilmember Moon. To return from executive session where no decisions were made, no action taken. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion passed. Okay, now what?
Madam Mayor, I suggest, I recommend the city council to enter into an agreement with Smoky Hill Appraisal in the amount of $1,200 to appraise property relating to the lagoon project.
You said 1,200?
1,200. 1,200. I should have said it. Kylie, you got that motion?
I don't, I just wrote down 1,200.
Are you making a motion? I could word it. I think I can wordsmith it if you say you made it.
All right, I'll make a motion to enter into an agreement with Smoky Hill Appraisal in the amount of $1,200 for appraisals for the lagoon project, sewer lagoon project,
Property acquisition, do we need to? Okay.
property acquisition.
I'll second.
Okay, let's see if I can repeat this. All right, it's been moved by Councilmember Renard, second by Council President Hanson. To have the city go into agreement, write up an agreement with Smoky Hill Appraiser for the amount of $1,200 to negotiate to appraise
Real property.
property for the purchase of our sewer lagoon project.
Yeah.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Is that it?
Get out of here.
Okay, I would.
We gotta sign a bunch.
I would like a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting, or do we need to stay?
No,
Okay,
still talk business, we won't.
okay, motion to adjourn.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Allen, seconded by Council President Hanson to adjourn tonight's meeting at 7:54. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Shut off.
It's like if anybody opposes that, well,